Welcome back to another episode. It's your boy Dono.
And it's your girl C.
And this is the Winfrey Affair Podcast. All right, on today's episode, we'll be talking about 4 myths that, I said that correctly, 4 myths.
4 myths.
Yeah, 4 myths. I was about to say missed. 4 myths that is kind of brought up with intimacy and things. When we say intimacy, we automatically think about
sex.
Yeah. And see, I spelled that out. That's a lot of times what we think. But we're going to actually show you that it's not just about that. It has other things to do. We're going to show other 4 things that are not true as well. So before we do that, we're going to go into a promo, and then we'll be able to dive right back in.
Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms.
Social media platforms consist of Instagram, Facebook. Oh yeah, it's also season 2 will be uploaded on YouTube. So let's beef up the subscribers.
And speaking of subscribers, go ahead and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes and follow us on SoundCloud and Spotify.
Now let's tune back in. As you know, I'm the host, Dono, and this is my lovely co-host,
C.
That was very dramatic.
We have to be dramatic. It's Valentine's weekend.
It is Valentine's. What are y'all doing for Valentine's Day? Like, I don't even know.
I've talked to a few people. A few people have already made reservations at like different restaurants.
Yeah.
Some people are keeping it in-house.
Yeah.
Some people just aren't doing anything really special at all because they don't have a Valentine's.
Yeah.
So I think I won't even say that it's weird because we kind of had to do this last year too.
Yeah.
I just didn't think that it would be going into 2021 like it is. So
yeah.
This year we're keeping it in-house.
Right.
Just because we don't feel like dealing with the numbers, and it just so happened to get cold out of nowhere.
We moved 900 miles away.
To escape the snow.
And some change
and cold,
on top of that.
And some change.
Yeah, but...
And it's still cold.
It's cold.
It's just,
I can't believe
but it just now got cold. So, I guess I can understand.
The benefits from it being cold down here is, we ain't got to go to work.
That's true. That's very true. So, we're keeping it in-house.
Yeah.
We are going to do a staycation. We're doing a staycation. So,
and I think we had mentioned we were going to do like a little challenge.
For
Valentine's Day.
Gosh.
It's original. We're going to do like I want to say it's a karaoke, but just like a singing.
Like a singing challenge.
Yeah.
We don't know if we're going to post it though yet.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
We may
comment
not.
down below if you want us to post it. Because we'll post it within that time frame, hopefully. So
don't y'all be judging us, okay? This was my lovely husband's idea, and he just so that we can like lay out the scenery for that. The idea is to, as you know, my husband makes music, so to one of his songs that he's made, come up with an original piece. Right? Yeah. I already have mine. I don't know if you have.
I've been have mine.
And we're going to record
bars on bars.
We're going to record us singing. I don't know if we're going to like actually do like the vocals, like singing in the microphone and doing it, and then just post it. We may just post it on like our on our Instagram. Yeah,
that's probably. Yeah, we should do that. Yeah, we'll try to do that.
Follow us at the Winfrey Affair on Instagram.
You should have heard in the promo, but if you didn't,
yes.
Also on YouTube. And Facebook.
And Facebook. Yeah, and we're thinking about getting a TikTok, y'all.
Yeah.
We're thinking about getting... We have a Reels.
Don't worry.
What was that?
I don't know. Is that whoa?
Oh my God. We sold...
Okay. We're going to come back. We're going to get plugged back in. But... after saying all of that, we're going to dive right into today's episode. So, the 4 myths about intimacy. How much was that like expressed in your household when you were younger?
I have to say I didn't start seeing it until I was a little bit older.
Right.
Like teens? Like around my teens, late teens area.
Yeah.
Somewhat. I knew that my parents loved each other.
Right.
and I even like I knew they would go out on dates, but it started to ramp up, like started to increase more as I got older. I think, yeah, I can say that I saw it. Yeah, honestly, I'm just like going around what I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I basically saw it like towards like they showed each other intimacy around the like 11 is when my stepdad came into my life, like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, and yeah, it just started. From there, I don't really remember. Yeah. But I remember, towards the end part of my teenage years, I do remember them going on like lots of dates and, just doing simple things here and there. Right. He would always kiss her in front of us to make us weirded out. Like, oh, no, stop. Ew, Dad, no. So, yeah, that's
he still does that.
Yeah, he does, actually. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I think it's cool, though. Yeah, but what about you? Yeah,
for me, I probably would say around it. Like my mid-teens. Mm-hmm. Yeah, going into like my 20s. Early 20s. So, yeah. That's probably like when I started realizing, like, oh, they are intimate. I didn't know. They was going on dates and all this. I was like, dang, let's go on a date every Friday. This is like,
we wouldn't even know when my parents were going on a date. They would just leave the house.
Yeah. Especially when they get older.
And it'd be like, right, especially when I hit about, I want to say around 14, 15 maybe. Right. They would just leave the house and be gone for like 2 or 3 hours. Like, where'd y'all go? Oh, we went on a date. What?
Right.
I thought y'all was just going to the grocery store or something. Yep. Like, parents.
Yeah. So like, before marriage, like, before even our relationship, what did you think about intimacy? Did you think about like from like a movie's perspective, or was it like from like a novel that you read or anything like?
I love how you said novel because I probably read it in the book somewhere. I'm a huge romantic fan. So I would probably have to say movies and novels I thought it was going to be like the almost cheesy cliche-ish type romantic stuff, like the roses every single week and the stuff. And I mean, that's not really cheesy or cliche-ish. I mean, you should probably do that. Yeah. But I mean, it was that's kind of what I thought it was. I thought it was more physical. Right. If anything, I didn't think that it could be emotional or mental. I didn't think that it could even go to those areas. I just thought it was more physical. Okay, yeah.
Because I think it would be the same thing for me. Intimacy, obviously, I was still unlearned, even though I kind of saw intimacy. Or at least I thought intimacy was just
sex.
Yeah. It was sex. It was just, bed squeaking, just go. I mean, that, like I said, that's what I thought intimacy was. It was just like, oh, it's just that. But that's one of the first things where we talk about myths, like the 4 myths of it. It's not just about sex. Although sex is a part of it, it is the physical action of it, but it starts in communication. And that's something, like I said, we have to create that culture for and create that, the healthy communication as well. So what do you think about that?
I think that's honestly true because if you really think about it, you don't even get to the sex part without talking to that person and getting to know them on a communication level, That's how you, like, introduction of the person, you guys are going on dates or whatever, you have to communicate with them and just get to know them. I feel like that's like the road to getting to know somebody. Yeah. And honestly, if you even really think about it, even in like marriages, if you don't communicate with me and we arguing right now and we haven't settled something, this headphones keep sliding out my ear. I'm trying not to mess up my poof ball. I mean, it's perfect. Y'all ever had a good hair day and then just I feel like I've been having a good hair week. I just don't want to mess this up. Right. But yeah, sorry if I'm messing with this. Just I totally understand. Just understand. I got it. It's okay. Right. There we go. There you go. It's perfect. But yeah, even in marriages or couples, if you aren't communicating with me, if you haven't talked to me in a while, I'm not going to sleep. I'm not going to have sex with you. I'm not going to be like, hey babe. No, you ain't talked to me all day. Absolutely not. What was that
guy's name we had watched it? I think it was on we saw it on YouTube, but he was talking about relationships. He was like, be nice to the girl.
Oh, what is his name?
I cannot get his name.
Because the book is, what is the name? The book is Discovering Your Heart,
yeah.
the flag page or something like that.
If you haven't...
We actually have the book.
Yeah, we got the book. Oh, Lord.
Where's the book? It's sitting right in front of us.
If you haven't... I'm not getting sponsored for this.
We'll tag it in the description box below.
It is a really good book.
Below.
Yeah, it is really good.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, if you haven't, like, I feel like that's always the starting point to something,
right.
to intimacy is communication.
Absolutely.
And I think that a lot of times we don't understand just how important a role communication plays in intimacy, absolutely. Period.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you're not having a conversation with somebody, there is no intimacy.
Yeah.
There is no connection. I think that one of the biggest ways that humans connect is through communication, so yeah.
That's so true. I'm glad that you expounded so beautifully,
Thank
by the
you.
way. It was just flowing like a river.
Thank you.
I'm like, I forgot what I was even going to say this. but yeah, that was greatly explained. So we know it's not about sex.
Yeah.
Just about sex.
Yeah.
Sex is important, and it should be in every marriage. Mm-hmm. It should be normal. Mm-hmm. It should be consistent. It should be something that it's only that one person is able to achieve. Because I know that's another thing too. It's like one spouse feels like sometimes, even like in the Christianity world, if I want to say
it's
it
like
that
a
way.
really taboo topic.
It's a very taboo, and like when we say sex, it's like, you have some people who go far left, and they're just like the bed is undefiled. Then you have some people who say like on pulpits, you can only do missionary, because that's more holier. And I'm just like, well, we're going to hell. If that's the case, just be real. But like that's true. But like I said, I think it's just something that you and your spouse have to. That's what the communication is there for. Yeah. Not just for that, but it's like when you get to know more about her, you get to know more about him. When that time happens, we're able to, know more. Like the Bible says, you begin to know. You know what I mean? So
KNOW.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, not N-O, but no. But yeah, so yeah, that's
goodness.
obviously that's when we know it's not just about the physical part, but it is communication.
And emotional, and mental. It goes so many different. Oh yeah,
it's even spiritual. I believe that it's totally spiritual, and you need it. You got give it, receive it. Freely you give, freely you receive. Press down, shake it together, run it over. That's what I'm gonna say right there.
Oh my gosh!
The second. Here's the second thing. Go ahead. I'm just you didn't think I could pull it out right there.
Oh my god.
I'm telling you, pen game be. I was like, no.
So myth number 2, so some of these we have been looking at, we've been thinking about, okay, what have we been told? Yeah. What have we learned? What have we seen?
Yeah.
Myth number 2 about intimacy is you have to give up your personal space.
Oh my God.
I have seen
so
many people feel like
carbon copies of their spouse.
because we're together now, or because we're married, and I see it more in women than anything. Like we have to be the exact replica of our husband, or we have to be the same as him. We have to like the same thing as him. We have to do the same thing as him. We have to be interested in the same thing as him. We have to be in the same space as him all the time. Yeah. And it's like the marriage was, like you said in our last one, the two become one.
Yeah.
You were an individual before you got married. You just need to take that time. Just have that personal space, that time where you pour back into you, right, or you allow God to pour back into you. Whatever your self-care time is. Yeah. It's like, no, you just need to have that time. And once you come back to your spouse, you have more to give.
Absolutely.
And it even gives you a time to know yourself.
True.
Like what you like, what you don't like. Because you're still an individual even in the marriage. That's right. We're not just hooked at the arm No, it's like, we have our own separate likes. We have our own separate dislikes. We have our hobbies. We have our own things that we like to do.
True.
And I just hate that they push that.
Yeah.
You just have to be hip to hip, you know, like which just hip to hip.
You don't go just be yourself and be happy. You know, like you said, like you literally just took it out of my mouth. Didn't know what to say. It's literally the same thing I was going to say. But I would say it's also, I think, well, for the circle that we come from, obviously being in a Black Pentecostal church, having that whole experience. A lot of times you'll even see, even for women, like if the woman's like more of the minister, the spouses has to be a minister as well. Right. Even though he could just be a deacon who just loves his, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like you have to do exactly what that person does. And I think that's what I love about us. We're not trying to be like either. Like, you know, obviously we do music together. Yeah. But it's not like they're trying to force you to do what I'm doing and I'm doing what you're doing. So, I mean, like I said, it's just good to know that, hey, you know what, your spouse is a whole person. Not half a person, but a whole person. Yeah. And that's what I love you for, you know? You're my babe, you know what I mean?
I love you too. So, you laying on the extra sweetness. Okay.
It was very, very important. Absolutely. Gotta have yourself. You gotta keep yourself. You know? And plus, like I said, I'll say this too. You keep growing. Yeah. Life goes on. You're not going to stay the same 19-year-old or the 20-year-old when you met that person, or however old they were. They're going to grow. And you have to be okay with them growing. Yeah. So, you know, you it is so, like, support is so important to the spouse. Yeah. It is, like, to allow that person to just become and let go of things that we thought were non-negotiables. Because there were some things I was like, I got to do this and she can't do this with me, you know. This ain't gonna be able to work, and I'm just like, now I'm just like, okay.
You know, it's and that's part of the relationship period is difference. Yeah. You know, because that's what makes it beautiful. You have different perspectives, different views on things, different outlooks, and that's what makes it for you and somebody else to be able to harmonize and come together and bring your different perspectives and different lives and all of that to like, you know, to work together basically for the rest of your life. Yeah. That's a big deal. That's a big deal, and that's a great thing to do. Honestly, that shows you how strong and mature that you are. So
that's why it says in the scriptures, the two become one. Right. The two become one. It's like difference is so important.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's okay, and it's not demonic. It is not demonic to be different. And it's okay if, you know, your spouse is more, I don't want to say more spiritual, or more, I don't know, they're just more creative than you. Yeah. It's okay. You know, somebody got to have structure. Seriously. You like both of them are creative. It's just like, okay, I see what's going on here.
Or even like a good example, like you know how I've been going on this whole vegan journey since January, honestly. Yeah. And at first, my husband was doing it with me. He worked for a little bit, and then he had to sit me down and tell me, this ain't cutting it for me. Yeah. This isn't for me. And I had to respect that. True. You know, I'm like, no, you gotta do it. No, it's like, you know what? I respect that. You know, you feel, and he put it so sweetly. He was like, hey, babe, I want to let you know I totally see why you're doing this. Yeah. And I support you 100%. But for right now, this just isn't for me. Right. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I've gotten to the point now where it's like, if he comes to me with a different viewpoint or something, I listen and I'm like, you know what? All right, cool. Let's see how we can come to a compromise. Because at this point, I do not expect him to always 100% agree with me on everything. Now, there are some times where we do agree, but not 100%. That's just unrealistic expectations at that point. So, yeah. That's what we have to say about myth number 2. Yeah. So myth number 1 is intimacy is not all about sex. And myth number 2 is you have to be with your spouse. I think it was you have to be with your spouse 100% of the time.
Well, that was actually the other one. That was you have to give up your personal goals.
Oh, you have to give up your personal goals. And
that was actually myth number 3 that you gave. It's fine. She's rushing into it. Because those two really do coexist. But when you talk about giving up your personal goals, that's just more so like one spouse feeling like, well, because they got the career and it's more notable, you feel like, oh, I got to give it up. No, you still continue. Obviously, I'm not telling you to rebel against your spouse or whatever. Right. But I'm just saying, obviously, there should be discussions. Let me say that. There should be discussions to where that person doesn't feel like, hey, I'm giving up, and I feel like I'm not being my authentic self.
Right.
So, but yeah, 3 is you got to do everything together with your partner or with your spouse. Obviously, no, we had already explained that the 2 become 1. It's more so in our earlier years, I think we kind of made that mistake.
Yeah.
We did everything together. Now, I know some of that could have been because of the trauma and all the dysfunctional things that was going on.
Yeah.
Around that time, we felt like we had to cover each other and like really, because that was kind of more of that perseverance. Like, we gotta endure this type of thing. It was a lot of warfare that we went through.
Yeah.
And in our earlier years, and then we kind of realized once we got out of that, we still had like that battle mindset to where we gotta. So now we started battling each other, and we started to realize, you know what? I need to know her outside of all the trauma.
Yeah.
You need to know me outside of all the trauma. So, and actually, in order to know each other, like we said before, you gotta take some time away.
Yeah.
Find yourself, find your hobbies, find other friends who are sane.
Yeah. Sane.
Not insane, but sane. Don't find friends that make you go even more crazier. They should be able to check your crazy. That's a whole nother discussion. Friends are very important. But yeah, it's just like I said, you have to be able to find yourself. I'm not saying like you're gonna find yourself in 2 weeks or 2 months. It's like it's a journey.
It's an ever-growing journey.
Yeah, be okay with the process. I think a lot of times we're so focused on results. Yeah. And we're just like, I gotta get this to get this, and this is like, no, like, you know how many people are missing out on the progress? Yeah. And that's the whole point of life. Like, it's not just about all my wins or all my losses. It's like, like the experience I have with them. That's what makes the win really good, or the losses even better. So
that's so good.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah,
that's so good.
I'll be dropping dropping jewels out here.
The sound effect.
You know what? So far, I have not messed up on a word.
Have you been counting words?
Yes, I have. I've been counting all my words.
Have you literally been...
I've been counting my words. I don't know what it is. It's like I got on camera. It's like, fumble. I'm trying to say fumble, but I couldn't say fumble. But yeah. So there was no time. Yeah.
They gonna hear every single mess up, single mispronunciation.
It's been very hard to just stand in front of this camera and just look at you guys and be like, yeah, this is what we know. Sometimes you get like, I used to laugh at people when I was younger. Who stutter over words. Now I'm doing it. So.
I think it's like because you know that people are watching.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole nother ball game doing a video podcast.
Yeah.
Than it is just doing a regular podcast. Like
big difference. Big difference.
Because it's like I'll make a face and then we'll be like, ooh. They don't see that face. Ooh.
You never know. It can literally go on social media and it could just be shared everywhere.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh.
Oof. Lord, I don't ever want to experience that again. So thank God for the blood. It would be like for a minute my face was kind of, but it was just
you were a meme?
I was a meme. It was a face
you were
that
a meme?
I was. But it was a good meme though. It was like a
I never saw this meme.
Yeah. It was years before we even got with each other. It wasn't nothing negative. It was something sports related. And it was only like amongst like the high school that I went to at the time. So it was just, that was like right when it started.
I never saw that meme.
Yeah. It was,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was like, I was a part of a meme.
I don't think I've ever been a part of a meme. And do the people who ever become memes ever know that they're memes?
No, I don't think they know until like it's like
they blow up.
Yeah.
Like it's like viral.
Like I think they got like a TV show now on like YouTube, like the kid with he'd be like the kid
no.
It's like Success.
No.
Or the guy who he'd be like,
oh yeah, I know that one.
They talk about like before I went viral, and they'll talk about like their story. But I think it's on YouTube, yeah. So
I need to go watch that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you were a whole meme.
I was. It was more so for athletics. It was a comment I used to say when I used to deny the defender. And I do not want to repeat that. So, yeah, a long time ago, guys. So, And if you know, do not say this in the comment or we'll delete it, okay? Right, that's what we're going to do right there. And we are back on. So what is the final myth about intimacy?
All right, so this one, we all know that intimacy is not always, sunshine and rainbows, right? Yeah. If you don't know that, I hope you know that. But you can also find intimacy in the rougher moments as well, right? So this is a statement that we both agreed that we've probably heard about how many times? Probably our whole entire life, honestly.
It's like one of the core fundamental values you hear in every Black Pentecostal church.
Seriously. Now, what I will say this. It is in scripture, but the context is different.
Context is king.
So just, this is a good saying, and right. I do believe that you should not do this, but there's it just depends on how you look at it, right? Yeah. So the statement is, don't go to bed angry at your spouse.
Yeah.
Right? Now, in certain situations, I can totally see why that's like, okay, come on, guys, really? Especially if it's like a real petty, oh, you left the cabinet door open and I whacked my head on top of it. Now we're getting into this big old argument and we're talking about how you never closed the cabinets and we both go to bed upset. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on. Okay, that's a situation that could have been handled in 10 minutes. You know what? Hey, babe, I'm sorry. Yeah, I will try to do better and keep the cabinets closed. Just something random like that or something real petty. When your arguments are petty. Super petty. When they're petty. Yeah. Now, if it's something that's you guys just are not seeing eye to eye on, you're irate. That's probably the biggest anger word I can think of right now. You're furious about it. Animated. Just tensions are high, all of that stuff. And it's nighttime and you just so happen to get into it at night. Yeah. Because that's happened before with us. We just so happened to get into it right before we went to sleep.
Oof. It's the worst.
Again, what I will say is sometimes you need that time to just go your other ways, calm down, think about it with a logical mind, and then come together. And sometimes that just so happens to be at night. Yeah. When you're sleeping. Because I know for me, sometimes when I'm stressed out or something, I'll go to sleep. Right. And I'll wake up and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm refreshed. I'm recharged. I can think about this with a new perspective. What was I even mad about again? Right. I don't even remember. Now, that's what I said. It depends on how whoever is dealing with it. I feel like when we say that, we're coming out of, for the more church background people, they're coming out of that scripture, don't let the sun go down on your wrath, but that's wrath.
Yeah, wrath. We're not talking about totally different.
Wrath is totally.
I'll give it to
no, go ahead. No. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You were going. I actually love where you were
going. That's exactly where I was going, and
okay.
So
sorry about that. I was like, that's good. But I would definitely say there's a difference between wrath and anger. Okay, so anger is a feeling, just as wrath, but wrath has been bathed in other things like rejection, abandonment, hurt, just whatever you could possibly think. Wrath is more so bitterness and I'm going to fulfill revenge. Yeah. Anger is a feeling and it's normal. Now, like I said, to some people, anger can be to the 10th or the 100 degree, or anger should be at a level to where you're not making your spouse feel like they gotta fear their life. Mm-hmm. We're not saying that it's totally normal if your spouse is feeling like you're gonna take their life away. Not cool at all. But
it's not normal.
It's not normal at all. But what I can say is this: for anger, it does gauge where the person is, what their beliefs are, the other person's beliefs are, and it just really shows that what relationship, kind of what stage they're in. Yeah. A lot of times, like I said, for wrath is more so I'm here to get revenge. And a lot of times I understand the statement of don't go to bed on wrath. You're absolutely right. No, when it comes to wrath, like, no, you shouldn't. But when it comes to anger, and I know a lot of times too, and I'm sorry to say this, but in the African American church, and I can say this because granddad's a pastor, so my dad was a pastor. Okay, I was a minister. So I can say this. I feel like I'm qualified. I can say this. We automatically think that people are emotionally mature than what they're actually putting off. Just because I'm dancing, I'm rejoicing, that I could be a total different person. From a scenery, then I just got to play this card for 2 hours. But the rest of those 2 hours, for the rest of those hours during the week, I'm a whole different person.
That's so true.
So, like I say, I think it has more so to do with that. Also, I can also see, I've seen, I've heard, and I've experienced where it's been used to be like the key over the other spouse. Basically saying like, oh, well, you can't go to bed mad at me or God gonna be mad at you.
It's like a manipulation.
Yes, manipulation. I need to one up over you. So, gotta watch out for that right there. A lot of times, and that's more so from an eisegesis perspective, where you isolate a scripture and you build a whole foundation and you strip it from whatever supporting context that was actually written in it. Yeah, and it sometimes it'd be like, oh, that's how we got this other crazy stuff. But that's what I'm saying. So it's like we have to be careful how we approach these statements. And because I don't want to get too far in people's personal, because you start talking about like what people believe in. They start protecting people rather than their fundamental belief systems that they have. So, true. And that's just like, I'm just gonna leave that right there. But it's if I could say anything, it could definitely be wrath and anger are totally different. Mm-hmm. They're not the same. One is to fulfill revenge. The other is a feeling. Big difference. If you didn't get anything I said before, it's to fulfill that revenge, and then the other is just a feeling of the moment for that time and space. This statement should not be used to manipulate, to feel like I have my spouse up under some type of control, because that's witchcraft, okay? If you feel like you got to dominate your spouse in order for you to feel like you're at a place of authority, that's witchcraft. It's emotional manipulation, okay? So we don't want to do that, guys. We want healthy relationships. We want healthy communication lifestyles. We want both spouses to be able to open up clearly without anything being distracted. You can hear that person for what they're saying, not how they're saying it. Yeah. And like I said, that's the honest. Those are the 4 myths right there. Like I said, I don't really want to go down a whole rabbit path because I'm about to go there. But I'll stop it right there. And like I said before, like these are just the 4 myths.
There's so many other myths.
There's other ones, but I think these 4 really get overlooked. Yeah. And because this is very true. With all of these, we always think, oh, sex, because that's what the movie says, or that's what TV shows, Netflix. That's what
Netflix and chill.
Netflix and chill. It's like, oh, I'm being intimate. I'm not really being intimate unless I'm having sex. Yeah. But it's more so like, just spending time with your spouse. Just being open, being vulnerable. That's intimacy, and that's what I didn't understand that. Like at first when we got married, I was like, she would be like, I want to spend time with you, and I'm just like, yo, I'm spending all the time I could give you. What do you mean I'm not getting? But I realized it was not. I'm thinking like, wow, she just wants sex. No, it's actually, she just wants to spend time with me, know more about me, so that she can really talk about her feelings as well. So
just get to know each other on a more emotional level.
Absolutely.
So if your woman is telling you that, is she not talking about sex? Okay, she talking about getting to know you on a psyche to psyche level, okay? Whatever you want to call it, on a mental, emotional level. Yeah. So put your game controller down. Put your phone down. And talk. Just talk. Yeah. Just talk. Okay, just have to get ghetto real quick. But,
And we're back. Okay. But that is it for this episode. We want to say thank you guys who have watched all the way through. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Winfrey Affair. Like, comment, share. Follow us on Facebook, titled The Winfrey Affair. Also, Instagram. And we will be doing TikTok. Eventually. We'll have those details. We'll see. You'll see us on TikTok. And then if you haven't already, you'll follow us again. That's it. But hopefully you guys are doing well. Hopefully you guys are staying safe. And happy Valentine's Day to all the couples.
Valentine's
to all the
Day.
Singles, happy Valentine's Day to you.
Happy Valentine's Day, because you are still loved even if you're single.
Yeah.
Love yourself.
Love yourself. Love yourself. Okay. And that is it. And we're going to see y'all next Saturday.
Peace out, guys.
Hey.